a significant problem in many countries. I can really only speak, to my own country, and certainly there was some vaccine hesitancy before COVID and before any COVID vaccines. But I think that it's probably been increased or amplified because of the controversies about COVID vaccines. And I'm speaking only for my own country, for my own experience in my own country. But clearly, before COVID, there was vaccine hesitancy, or even certain people in certain countries. And again, I'm talking about the United States, but certainly also some countries in Europe that I'm well aware of before COVID, where there were individuals who did not want to take certain vaccines, or in some cases, any vaccines at all. So vaccine hesitancy is a significant problem, but it began before COVID. And at least in my country, in the USA, I think that vaccine hesitancy has increased, and not only for COVID, increased during COVID, and not only for COVID vaccines, but in some instances for other vaccines as well.
Yes, Dr. Lucy, that's certainly been our experience in the Philippines as well, sadly. Thank you very much for your participation and your reiteration that if indeed the report cited is accurate, it is not defensible in any way and would be ethically wrong. Thank you, Dr. Lucy.
Thank you, Senator.
Thank you very much. I also would like to have had the participation of Facebook and X, formerly Twitter, in order to discuss the alleged takedown of several hundred posts clearly identified as part of the U.S. military operation. However, there doesn't seem to be any representative present. Committee Secretary, is that correct? Yes, we invited both Meta as well as X. May I know if we've heard from them at all?
We invited them, Senator Marcos, we invited them, Your Honor.
Yes, I understand we invited them,
they
have they responded in any way?
They responded. I was able to talk to the General Counsel. She was on maternity leave. She is on maternity leave, and she told me to send an email to another person, but at the same time it bounced back, right? Sorry? The email bounced back.
Okay, so we don't seem to have any reply from both Facebook and X. However, we have a reiteration from the lawyer of Reuters, a certain Christopher G. Lee, who says that as described in the news report, the U.S. military's influence program was global in nature, targeting countries across Central Asia, Middle East, and Southeast Asia. In relation to the Philippines, the U.S. military in 2020 and 2021 operated the clandestine propaganda campaign using phony internet accounts meant to impersonate Filipinos. In connection with that reporting, our newsroom independently identified at least 300 accounts on X, formerly Twitter, that matched descriptions shared by former military officials familiar with the Philippine operation. Almost all were created in the summer of 2020, and after Reuters brought this cluster of accounts to the attention of X in the course of our reporting, X determined that the accounts were inauthentic and suspended them in 2023. Posts by the accounts decry the quality, efficacy, and safety of Chinese face masks, COVID-19 test kits, as well as their vaccines. I think that is all we have with regard to that in the absence of both Meta and X. However, I think the article speaks for itself, wherein it indeed states that the patterns and the activities clearly indicate the participation of the U.S. military as well as the IP addresses. Now we turn to the Philippine government agencies, particularly those involved in the vaccination and cybersecurity program. Were you aware in the late 2020 period to the first half of 2021 that there were hundreds, if not thousands, of social media accounts intended to malign or discredit not only Sinovac but Chinese face masks and other equipment? Is anyone aware of such social media accounts? Was there any activity reported to you in DOH? Perhaps Mr. Dizon now, who was also involved at least later on. May nabalitaan ba kayo na may ganitong pangyayari? Na may nagsasabi kahit unang-una yung Sinovac eh hindi maaasahan at pati yung mga face mask, pati yung mga ginagamit na PPE at ibang equipment ay hindi maaasahan. Yes, Yusek po?
Yes, good morning po, Madam Chair. Yes po, we have been monitoring this kind of social media issues where there was this kind of issues raised by the people or population, and we tried to address this by doing some form of directed town halls and assembly so that we can better inform our citizens.
So, Yusek, you were actually aware that there were posts, tweets, other misinformation over social media and other media here in the Philippines. Is that correct?
Yes, Madam Chair.
And the DOH action was to make people aware through different town halls and other media as well. Is that correct?
Yes, Madam Chair.
Did you not find these alarming, these tweets and posts? And beyond the town halls, was there any other action taken to stop these accounts and posts that were clearly undermining the effort of DOH at the time?
Yes, Madam Chair. We usually get this kind of issues not just for COVID, but even before the COVID pandemic started, because we had already these kind of issues regarding vaccines since 2016. So we tried addressing this.
By 2016, are you referring to Denvaxia po?
Yes, Madam Chair.
So mula pa nung Denvaxia, nagkakaroon na kayo ng problemang ganito, kaya medyo pamilyar na kayo.
Yes, Madam Chair.
At ang panlaban ninyo, naglalabas kayo ng impormasyon na tama.
Yes, Madam Chair.
Did you find it alarming?
During that time, Madam Chair, yes, because we were trying to have all our population vaccinated. So we really needed to intensify our efforts. So we also had some communication with the Facebook or Meta so that they will take down these different posts, because we do social listening 24/7 so that
Did
we
they?
can monitor. Yes, some of the posts were taken
Some
down.
of the posts were actually taken down. We recognized the arrival of Senator Padilla. As I recall, the frustration of then President Duterte was such that he threatened to arrest people who wouldn't get vaccinated because we had such meager numbers. Tama po ba yun? Ganun kahirap magpa-vaccinate, magpa-bakuna nung panahon na yun?
Madam Chair, I would just like to also clarify. No, although yes, there was this hesitancy during that time, but the hesitancy rate declined throughout the months that we were vaccinating. It started off that there was this high hesitancy rate, but came January of 2022, the hesitancy went down to just 8% among the population.
Tama. I recall that development, and DOH was very successful in convincing people, but that is a 6-month lag. That's really quite a long lag. So they did stop the accounts, or at least take down some of the few that you identified. And do you still see this sort of thing happening? I understand that with pertussis and whooping cough, it derives from hesitancy from the moms from the usual DPT and other vaccines.
Well, Madam Chair, for now, currently, we are doing currently longitudinal study to determine the hesitancy of Filipinos in terms of our vaccination. And based on our study during the second quarter of 2023,